Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your March soul session. I am Princess India. If you're new and if you're family, welcome back, my friend, and what's not, or whatever. So we're going to go ahead and jump into, okay, that's definitely the challenge. You guys, cards for the month of March. We're looking at an overall energy as well as a challenge. And then we're getting into a more specific spread after that. Just pick the cards for that. Okay, do not sit those cards there, girl. That's about to be a whole ordeal. Go ahead and sit that right there and move my mouse. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump in and see what's going on for my Geminis for the month of March. Okay, interesting. You guys, overall energy. It's a lot of this going on this month. We have the 6 of Cuppies in the reverse, and you guys, challenge for the month, interesting, is the 9 of Swords. Okay, let me move my face. Okay, is the 9 of Swords. I'm going to want to clarify this. So what it's looking like, Gemini, there's a lot of energy that's oriented to you guys' path that's going to be kind of influencing or hovering over you all for the month of March. So it's having a sense of nostalgia about the past, or more or less desiring something from the past. And the main thing that's kind of coming to me with that is almost kind of wanting a do-over is the vibe that I'm getting. It's almost like if you're kind of sitting and reminiscing about things, and I don't want to say like looking over your life, but it's just more or less thinking back to, you know, a time where things may have been easier or things may have been better. It could even be, since love keeps popping up in the soul sessions in March, it could even be thinking about a past relationship, or just thinking about being in a relationship in general and kind of desiring for times different than now. The main thing that you guys are going to be overcoming in the month of March, or what would behoove you to overcome, is this anxiety that I'm seeing in the 9 of Swords. Because how I'm kind of seeing this playing out is more or less dwelling on the past, right? And projecting those fears of things that have happened past tense, like projecting those onto the future, and being afraid. And I don't know why this is coming up. I always say I don't know why, but I know why. But the thing that's coming up to me is almost like feeling like your time has passed or something like that. Like once upon a time, you may have had an opportunity to do something or achieve something, or to be in a relationship, or, you know, what have you. But since that particular thing, that thing hasn't happened for you up until this point, and it's more or less having fears that maybe like you had this time in the past, and maybe like, I'm trying to say this, but I feel like I have to give a scenario, because I feel like how I'm saying it is like too broad in general and too difficult to follow. It's kind of like if you were to think about once upon a time you were in this relationship, you felt like the person you were with wasn't the right person for you. So it's not that they were like a terrible person, and this is a hypothetical, by the way, but it's not that this person was a terrible person, but you just felt like, you know, we're really not that compatible, right? And it's not that overall they were a bad person. So almost like in the context of like, I don't know, maybe, and I'm using this as a silly example, but maybe like say like the person was short. So everything about the guy was ideal, except for the fact that he was short. And you told yourself at the time, I should not settle for less than I deserve, right? I want a tall guy. I'm not going to settle for a short guy. So I'm going to go see what's out there, right? So 10 years hypothetically has passed, right? And you haven't met any viable options. And like this particular person has like moved on, they're married, have kids, all of the things. And it's like kind of having an anxiousness now, wondering like if your opportunity to be in a relationship that could potentially lead to marriage, AKA past person, if that opportunity has passed you by because you haven't met anyone since then. It's kind of like that's the headspace that I'm feeling. And that's provoking a lot of anxiety, because it's like the fear that you missed your chance. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that this is the case for everyone, but just more in the context of this is the fear that, you know, like this is the opportunity that got away. This is the person that got away. And it's kind of going back and forth with yourself, wondering like, has that opportunity eluded you? But let me go ahead and pick this clarifier. What else can you tell me about this? Spit at. Okay. Whoa, hello. Oh, wow. Y'all, this is the second time this happened. And I don't know if y'all caught it. Like, I'm saying if y'all caught it on camera, like you're filming me. I don't know if the camera caught this, but how that just completely flipped out. But this is the card that came out. I don't know if you can see it because the print is small. It's the wife card. So maybe that's not a hypothetical, because this has been happening. Like, you know, soul sessions are, I mean, it's kind of like whatever comes up, you know what I mean? Whatever is most pressing to the sign, but typically it's like personal development focused stuff. But for a lot of the soul sessions, like love stuff has been coming out. So I'm just going with it, especially like Taurus, sweet mother. But yeah, the wife card. So to clarify this, I really think that is dead on. That's really dead on. So whether you're male or female, if you're a male, then this would be speaking specifically to a particular woman. Like it would be speaking to like a woman that you may have dated years ago, or some time ago, but she was pretty much like the ideal person, like, you know, a trustworthy person, like pretty much like the ideal wife in so many words. And, you know, for whatever reason, you guys aren't together anymore. And it's more or less feeling like the one that got away almost. And then for those of you that are female Geminis, this would be speaking to you of saying that you're like the wifey type in so many words. But I feel it's almost like this anxiety and this fear would be the fear that like you're never going to be a wife. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that you really desire, but it's like kind of thinking to your past about, you know, relationships that you've been in or relationships that you've ended, and may more or less like kind of second guessing your decisions in reference to that, because I feel there's a huge fear here that you think you may never get married or never have like a life partner or something along those lines. Now, getting into our more specific spread, the card that is representing you guys, the central energy, wow, is the World in the reverse. Okay, let me cover my face. The World in the reverse. And every time I get the World card, I always talk about the fixed signs, which is Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, and what is it? Scorpio and wait, did I say all of them? Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Yeah. And those are all signs that I've done already, ironically. And Taurus, I mean, that was definitely a love thing. So no, I haven't done Scorpio yet. That was definitely a love thing. So definitely check that out if any of those signs are relevant to you. But with the World in the reverse, that is representing you guys, and it's speaking to unfinished business. So it's more or less my Geminis are feeling like you have unfinished business with your past. And I would say, much like I was saying with the Six of Cups in the reverse, for some of you guys, it's just a relationship in general. Others of you, it's a person, past tense, that you feel like something could have happened with, but it didn't pan out the way that you hoped, or you feel as if, you know, that whole one got away type of thing. Now, your past influence, oh, wow. We have the Justice. Let me cover up my face. We have the Justice in the reverse. That's Libra energy. You guys, above energy, which is your potential outcome. Wow. We have the Strength in the reverse. That's Leo energy. This card also came out in the reverse for the overall energy for Leo. You guys, hidden influence, wow, is the Seven of Cuppies. And what to look out for going forward. Holy mother, we have the Hanged Man in the reverse. That is so interesting. And one day, God, this isn't okay, except for one card. This is all major arcana. That's crazy. That happened with Aquarius too. One day I forgot what sign the hangman went with. So ever since then, I've just been saying Cancer, Pisces, and Aquarius. So we're just gonna go with that. And I just did Cancer too. So if any of these signs are relevant, it's a lot of signs that are up in here. But anywho, but like I was saying, the card that's representing you guys, that's more or less being in a state of like unfinished business. And I really feel like, I mean, it's karmic-y, to be honest, because with the Justice in the reverse, I mean, for some of you, this could be a divorce. I wouldn't necessarily say that for everyone. Some of you, it may be that you divorced someone and you're kind of looking back and wondering if that was the right choice. That scenario kind of came up for, who was that? I think that was Cancer, as a matter of fact. Yeah, it was Cancer, where it was kind of like a thing like that. But anyway, for some of you guys, I mean, it could be that you divorced someone and you're kind of looking back because you haven't met anyone that's kind of up to par for you, to where you're thinking about a past partner. But other than that, I really feel like this unfinished business is a karmic cycle that needs to end. So to be honest, Gemini, it's almost like misunderstanding the assignment in a sense. So I feel why this energy with the Six of Cups. So all of this, reminiscing about the past, thinking about things in that context, like why all of that is coming up is because I feel it's asking you to tie loose ends. And I say that even more so because of the Seven of Cups being in your hidden influences. So it's kind of like you're not clear as to why this stuff is coming up, or why you're dreaming about people from the past, or thinking about people from the past, or thinking about a state in your life, from the past. Some of you may be thinking like, oh my gosh, is this a sign that I should reach out to this person? I wouldn't necessarily say that unless you're into women, male or female. If you're into women, I would say yeah. But if you're not into women, then I would say no, because with this wife card coming out, it's kind of looking to me that if there's someone you guys don't past tense that's a female, and of course, this is a general reading, okay? So, take that with a grain of salt. Because I mean, if you had like a psycho chick that you dated, I'm definitely not saying to go back and reach out to her. But if you're into women, this person is a trustworthy person. Like, she is a good person. So, I mean, if she's still available, then, holler at your girl. But on the other end, if you're not interested in women, I feel that this is a representation of you. But I feel all of this stuff is coming up because it's a misunderstanding of the cycle. So it's more or less, my Geminis went through a karmic cycle, and I don't really feel you guys fully understood what the lesson was in all of this. And, my hunch would be, it's kind of like a is not cycle. So it's more or less a lesson that taught you about your dating habits, what love isn't, potentially what healthy relationships aren't, what I'm saying. But especially with the challenge being the Nine of Swords, I feel like it's a misunderstanding of that. Hence the reason why this Justice in the world are in the reverse, right? And even more so with the Strength in the reverse being in the energy of the potential outcome, it's more or less you guys could walk out of this situation not fully understanding the lesson of all of this, right? And I don't remember who that was. I'm sorry I keep talking about other signs with y'all, but literally every sign I've done prior to Gemini, and of course Pisces is relevant because we're in Pisces season. But I mean, most of my people, y'all, even if y'all don't have, if the sign isn't yours, majority of you guys watch all of them anyway. But I would definitely suggest watching all the signs I did prior to you guys, because it's just so many themes that are similar, But I feel what the kind of heads up forewarning is with this Gemini is because you guys misunderstood the lesson from your past. So whatever it is that you guys find yourselves thinking about a lot up until you watching this video, especially if it's related to relationships, with the Strength in the reverse, it's more or less putting you like in a scarcity mentality. and to a point where you may be looking at yourself as like disempowered to your life situation, or picking yourself apart physically, like thinking about, oh, I've gotten older, or, just whatever, like looking at very like 3D superficial type of things. I'm not where I should be, or, whatever. I don't have the figure that I used to have. And I feel all of those things, especially like I say, when we're looking out into the external world, everything in the physical realm is in the process of dying, or it's already dead. So you can't look to death to gain life. You know what I'm saying? So if we were to just look out into the world of what's around us, like life can't really give us hope for a future. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, everything is either dying or it's already dead. So you can't really get hope from that. So if you're looking out into the world or the current climate that we're living in, and you're listening to, like I went on a rant about an Aries reading at the end of February, like these little stupid dating coaches and stuff like they have, it would give you a scarcity complex and a lack mentality that make you feel like, oh my gosh, I hit the wall. I'm not in my. I hope I froze with a super funny face. I feel like I froze with like a hilarious face. I hope you guys are enjoying that frozen creepy face of mine. But anywho, it's like looking out into the world like that, it can make you feel like your present and your future are just like this dystopian type of existence, right? But the whole thing is, it's misunderstanding why all of this stuff is coming up, of why you're like kind of nostalgic thinking about the past or whatever. It's not like this stuff isn't coming up to remind you of like, ooh, this is what you missed out on, right? Like you should be totally sad about it and like ruminate over it, beat yourself up like Aquarius is doing. You know what I'm saying? No offense, that's just literally what happened in the Aquarius reading. But it's more or less for you to gain clarity about this. So I would say like the month of March for you guys is more or less like a reflective time frame for you to really take some time to look back on what it is that you've learned from your experiences since that particular relationship, or whatever it is that keeps coming up to you. I would also suggest to pay a lot of attention to your dreams, because I feel in your dreams there's a lot of stuff that's coming up. Like I kid you guys not, like that, like people disregard their dreams so much, but in my therapeutic approach, dreams are extremely important. You know what I mean? So I seriously think you guys need to pay attention to that. And even moreover, with what it is you guys should look out for with the Hanged Man in the reverse, there's an opportunity for you guys to kind of get the gist of what this is, like to get the gist of like what the lesson was, or to get some insight or some clarity in reference to this. But it's going to require you to make a decision to pivot, because the energy that I'm seeing you guys come into the month of March with, it's like a lot of oppositional kind of energy. It's more or less like pessimistic. It's seeing the glass as like half full. You know what I mean? So there's a need for some optimism here, because I don't know. It feels to me like you guys are kind of drowning. And I'm getting this from the Seven of Cups. It's like it's drowning in all of these shoulda, coulda, wouldas, what could have been. And if I would have only just, it's like a whole bunch of stuff like that that's coming up with you guys. And I feel like that's what's manifesting in your dream realm, but that stuff is coming up, like I said, not at all to have you feel bad about yourself, but it's telling you that there's unfinished business with the past, and this is a karmic cycle that needs to wrap up. So it's kind of like a wake-up call of like, hey, like get the lesson. The lesson is not self-deprecation. That's not what the big takeaway of this is. But of course, with free will, and like I said, what to watch out for with the Hangman in reverse, there's two options that we're having here. You guys can choose, elect to say like the big takeaway of this is I had my opportunity once upon a time to fall in love and be with someone. and I missed that opportunity and now I'm screwed. So I'm gonna, get a dog and die alone. Like my life is over. Everything I ever wanted, I squandered that chance, and that's just it for me, right? You can choose to go that route and think that's what the big takeaway is. Or you can say, I learned what it is I actually want, or these type of people weren't, the right type of people for me, or this person was a good match for me and I elected to not be with them. And it's like, they're off married to someone else now, or they're not interested in me anymore. And it's like, I learned my lesson. This person is, like a prototype for me. I hope that you're the one. If not, you are the prototype. I hope you just sang that with me, and I hope you go listen to it. I'm probably going to add that to my playlist, because I forgot to post it last month as much as I talked about it. But I make like a little playlist or whatever for the little songs that come up and stuff in the readings. So remind me in the comments to post that. And everyone on the network, please remind me to post this, because I haven't even posted it on the network either. But anyway, but literally, if there's someone, and they were the one that got away in a sense, then, and you can't be with them anymore, just look at them as a prototype for the type of person that you want moving forward. Because I mean, truth be told, there's 8 billion people on planet Earth, right? So not everyone thinks the same. It's like, even if people are saying all men this, all women that, or you hit a wall at a certain age, whatever the case, it's like, that's not the, finality period at the end of the sentence, truth. If you want to be in love, you want to get married, don't think that your past is holding you hostage. Like, I'm going to try not to go on a whole rant about that, but that's probably one of my biggest pet peeves when people like perceive life as if like you only get one shot and one chance at something, especially when it comes to other people. It's just like, oh my gosh, like there was this really great guy and this really great girl that I met, and I ruined my opportunity. And it's like, oh my gosh, like there's so many other freaking people on the planet. Like, every human being is unique in their own right. But I mean, it's not like because you lose one person, like you're never going to love again. You know what I mean? But I know that's easier, said than done. Once upon a time, I can honestly say just one person. Like my entire life, there's only one person that I felt that way about. And I felt that way for like maybe like a year after we broke up. And this is also the same person who, was the, well, I'm saying was, I mean, he still is my son's dad. It's like when we broke up, I felt that way for like a solid year. And then after that, I got over it. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like laughable to think like, I really felt like I will never love again. You know what I'm saying? But, and I mean, that's like no disrespect to him or anything, but I'm just saying in general, it's just the fact that you feel that way when, things separate. But I mean, it's like you will love again. You're going to open your heart to another person. And I mean, you can be surprised to find out that, like the love that you had with one person, that there's something even better than that to experience. You know what I'm saying? So don't pigeonhole yourself to your past, right? Like there's so much potential and opportunity out there in the world to sit there and imprison yourself to a past that doesn't even exist. Like it's foolish for us to do that, because it's like God can't change the past. Like there's no amount of money you could have that could even change the past. So I don't know. It's like, I don't know, maybe because I'm just so much of a linear thinker. It's just foolish to do that. It's pointless. Like it doesn't do anything, and it's kind of like to spend time, effort, and energy into something that does not warrant any type of like end to something. Like it's pointless to fraternize with things that never give you a period at the end of the sentence and give you a forever semicolon. So dwelling on the past and stuff that happened, like that's not going to suddenly make your future better or make your present better. Or, your angels, guides, ancestors are like, oh my gosh, Gemini has ruminated over something for like a solid 6 months now. Let's go ahead and bless them with something because they've self-deprecated so much. Like that's never going to happen. You feel what I'm saying? So the point in doing that, Like, and you have to rationalize yourself out of negative thought forms sometimes. You know, if there was an award to get for it, or that's how you got blessings was by like ruminating, then I would tell you to do it all day long. But it's not going to give you anything. So it's kind of like, why are you doing it? And I feel like I can say this to you, Gemini, because you're an air sign and I'm a Gemini rising. So, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I could say this to you guys because it's your mode of operation. I mean, unless you're a water moon sign, that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but it's like your mode of operating, like you can pick up what it is that I'm putting down. It's like 1 + 1 does not equal 2. So why are we ruminating? You know what I'm saying? If ruminating is not getting us to the end goal that we want to get to, then why are we fraternizing with? Like, this is pointless and we're wasting time when we could like be doing something. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, I'm gonna pick an oracle for you guys. I hope all of this has made sense. All of this is just pretty much saying to wrap up this cycle, to stop focusing on the past, because it's literally not doing anything to you except for like adding wrinkles or something. But anyway, you guys, oracle card. Oh my God, seriously? That is a perfect card. It's deserving. Oh my gosh. I think it's because of the white. You can't see it, or maybe my face. I don't know. There it is. It's deserving in the reverse. And this is a consciousness card. That's so dead on. So we're talking about a state of consciousness here. Let me look for it in the bookie. I wonder if you guys can hear that playing. Okay, number 6. So deserving in the reverse. It says this card reverse brings a very important message to you. Your sense of deserving is seriously out of alignment with your truth. The things that you long for are falling away because you're filled with doubt and feelings of unworthiness. Such thoughts of self-limitation block the opportunities and outcomes you long for, so you absolutely must get out of your own way. Why do you deem yourself unworthy? You may have been rejected in love, unsuccessful at work, or even dismissed by your parents. But none of that represents your truth. Your worthiness preceded all of those experiences. You are a child of God, creator of all blessings. This divine legacy defines you and will always determine your true value and deserving. You can avoid this truth no longer. It's time to affirm yourself in every way and claim the self-esteem that comes from your soul, even if you've never felt deserving before. You must open up to the worthiness of your eternal identity. When you do, the joys of the world will open up to you. And the affirmation says, I'm a truly valuable person, totally deserving of all the wealth, love, and happiness the world has to offer. Dude, if you don't start declaring that over your life, that's really what all of this boils down to. I feel more or less what this whole karmic cycle you guys have been in has been about is learning your worth and your value, right? And understanding that certain people just aren't worthy of you. But I feel it's, like I said, with the world in the reverse, it's like a misunderstanding of that. It's a misinterpretation of the lesson. Like you did not understand the assignment. So you're in turn like internalizing that and taking that out on yourself. But that was not what the purpose of this is. The purpose of everything you've been through up to this point was to get you to unearth, unlock, to realize, redefine, what have you, your worth and knowing what it is that you're truly deserving of. And I say a lot of times, like, there's 1,000 ways to build your self-esteem and self-worth in the psychological sense. But I find more often than not, especially like, because I was one of those people, when you struggle with defining your self-worth, it's like that's where the spiritual context of, the whole didactic, psycho-spiritual, conundrum comes in of like the card says, like defining yourself in a spiritual sense. It's like if all comes to worse, look at yourself as a child of God, and that gives you a priceless infinite sense of value. You know, for some people that's easier to latch on to. For others, it's a little more difficult because it's too intangible. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, even if you have to define yourself in that context to get some sentiment or grasp on what worth is, and knowing that you deserve more than this, I feel the biggest disservice to humanity is our collective, you know, all or nothing / black and white thinking. You know, it's like, I'm a bad person because I did a bad thing. And that easily puts us on the slide to, I don't deserve nice things. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, who am I to say that I deserve all of this? Motherfucker, you're you. You know what I'm saying? And you deserve that shit. You know, I talked about this in one of the other soul sessions. It's like, don't pigeonhole yourself to societal standards. Those are two things. Don't pigeonhole yourself to your past, and don't pigeonhole yourself to societal standards, because even society says that because of the color of someone's skin, because of your socioeconomic status, like because of your facial structure, you know, your weight, you know, your gender identity, whatever, that makes certain people more deserving of stuff. And we foolishly and sheepishly align with that ourselves and think, oh, well, I don't fit that category, so I can't really ask for too much. Shit on that. You know what I'm saying? Ask for what it is that you want. Desire what it is that you want. The main thing that's holding you guys back from having what it is that you desire is this mindset. You know, this whole strength in the reverse thing, that you're less than. You're not less than. God damn it. You're the shit. God damn it, son of a gun. So anyway, I'm finished ranting. That has been your soul session for March, Gemini. Most certainly let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, I love your freaking face, and I will see you guys sooner